All right, y'all. It's that time of year again when it's cold as fuck outside. We making chili.
Hey guys, so as winter is coming up, it's the perfect time of year to make chili for the family. So I just want to show how I make chili with just some of the ingredients that we have around the house. And there's so many different ways you can make chili. There's just so many different ingredients that you can add. But this is just what we happen to have around the house. And yeah, I'll show you what I threw in the pot here. If you know me, you know I like to make beans from scratch. So I soak them for like 6 hours, which really isn't even necessary with an Instant Pot. If you don't soak the beans, you have to pressure cook them for like 30 minutes to cook them. But if you do, it's like 5 to 10 minutes depending on how you like them and what kind of bean they are. I decided to put in pinto beans, black beans, and kidney beans because that's what I like. And I think I put like an even amount of all three of them. It should have been about a pound of each, maybe half a pound to a pound of each of them. So we rinse the beans, then soak them for a few hours. And then I move the turkey from the freezer into the fridge because I assume you probably wouldn't want to be cooking with frozen turkey. I'm no expert, but I think something about not cooking evenly or something like that if you try to cook frozen meat. There is a fast way to thaw it in the microwave, but I believe it takes the moisture out of it. You want that nice juicy meat, you know what I'm saying, boys. A couple hours into soaking the beans, I went to check on the turkey in the fridge and I realized it was still very much frozen. So now I know for the future if I want to thaw meat in the fridge, I should probably do it the night before. But this is what I did. I just took a bowl, filled it with cold water, and then put the frozen turkey in a bag in the cold water. We used to do that at my last job at the sandwich shop to thaw some of the frozen items as fast as possible because that's the safe way to quickly thaw food without bacteria growing. Since you don't want the food to be in the danger zone, which is 40 to 140 Fahrenheit, or I think it's 5 to 60 degrees Celsius. That's the temperature you don't want the food to be in. But yeah, instead of taking all night long to thaw, it was done in about an hour. That's for 1 pound of turkey. After a few hours of soaking, the beans were all ready to be cooked. So I drained the water out and then put fresh water in. And I believe that helps with digestion. I think some people have issues with that with their stomachs. Oh yeah, and what I was showing right there is that I made too many beans. It will not fit in the pot. I'm pretty sure beans soak up water and become about 3 times the size they originally were. So that's something very important to take into account that I should have thought of before, but I was just really excited to make my beans. And when I'm ready to cook the beans, I fill up the water to about 1 inch above where the beans are. And then I put the lid on the pressure cooker and I make sure it's not set to vent, but set to sealing. Otherwise, of course, the beans just won't cook. So I'm gonna put to 6 minutes because we're gonna be cooking it for like 5 minutes later once we get all the other ingredients in there. So 6 minutes will get them to a good point where they're still edible, but I wouldn't want to eat them without being a little bit softer. These were the ingredients that we happened to have. So I had onion and then serrano pepper, which is a pretty mild pepper. But you can put like so many different good things in there. Corn would be good, mushrooms, red pepper, like any kind of bell peppers, maybe even like carrots, celery, zucchini, or you know, if you're feeling a little bit wild, maybe even pineapple, huh? The beans are done, and if you have a pressure cooker, I'm sure you know this already, but do not have your hand near the release valve when you release it or else you're gonna burn yourself. But yeah, when we take the lid off, you can see the beans were a little bit more submerged than they needed to be, so I put a little bit too much water in there, but that's okay. Then we're going to drain all the water by pouring everything into the strainer. So that way we get the beans by themselves. If you don't drain the liquid, you'll have more of a chili soup rather than an actual nice, hearty, thick chili. Now that we have all of our ingredients prepared and ready to go, we don't want to just put it right in there. Otherwise we'll end up with like raw or I guess like boiled ingredients. So we're going to saute them in olive oil, extra virgin, just like myself. Just remember, kids, no unprotected hand holding until marriage. If you want to use meat, you can use any kind of meat you want. I just got turkey. I know it doesn't look the most appetizing, but once it's all cooked and stuff, it will look better. And of course, if you're vegetarian or vegan, you wouldn't obviously use meat in there. And then for the order to put the ingredients in, I guess it's pretty self-explanatory like with any other dish. The ingredients that take the longest to cook, put those in first, and then as time goes on, put in the faster cooking ingredients. I personally don't care, so I just put everything in there all at once, but yeah, look at that sizzle. You see that oil just ready to pop out like Katie got bands and burn your skin and leave third-degree burns. I didn't use that much of the peppers in there because, like I said, it's for the family, and none of them really like spicy stuff, but I did make sure to take the seeds out, and I just have the peppers in there for the flavor. It will still make it a little bit spicier, but because the batch is going to be so big, you won't really taste the spice, just the flavor of the actual peppers. And then speaking of peppers, you saw right there I just put some pepper in, and then salt, of course. I put kosher salt in there. I don't know what the right kind of salt to use is. I feel like I've seen people use kosher salt. We also had Morton salt. Wait, is Morton the name of the salt, or is that just the name of the brand of salt? I don't even know, but I just put kosher salt in there. And you may have noticed that I put the salt into my hand first before putting it into the pot. And that's because I feel like any packaging that you pour salt out of, the salt just can come out really fast. And if you have too much salt, that's going to ruin the dish. Well, I guess too much of anything will ruin the dish, but I feel like salt's just more concentrated than any other ingredient, and it's very easy to go overboard with it. All right, so once the ingredients are all sauteed to our liking, well, in this case, it's a little bit less than being done because we're about to cook it a little bit more. We're going to throw all the beans in there and then combine all that together, get our beautiful bean and vegetable ingredient mashup and combine them all together and get that beautiful mix. I didn't put all the beans in there at first because I thought there wouldn't be enough room, and I didn't want the beans to overpower the flavor of everything else, but it turns out it was a pretty good ratio, so I put the rest of the beans in there. So we're going to mix all that together to make sure it all gets a nice even mixture so everything gets cooked properly, I guess. I don't know exactly how it works. People just mix stuff together, you know. And then as for all the seasonings, first thing we're putting in is cayenne pepper. That's really spicy, the cayenne, not the paprika, even though they're the same color. But again, we have such a big batch, I didn't really put that much cayenne in compared to how much of all the ingredients that we have in there. And then we got paprika, we got cumin. That's pretty typical like Mexican food ingredients. Then we got more of the kosher salt as well. And then we got some Salt Bae action going on. Dude, I miss those old memes from like, what was it, 2016 or 2017? I don't think that was even from Vine. I think Salt Bae was just like a meme on the internet. I'm sure a lot of you remember him. If we had actual garlic, I probably would have used garlic instead of garlic powder, but got some garlic powder in there. And then to make sure all the seasonings are in a good ratio, I'm just gonna sneak in a little bean here. Yeah, looks like it's good. Hell yeah, my man. That reminds me of Bodhi's videos. Actually, there's this one video by Bodhi where he spent the whole video saying, "My boy," just like a million times throughout the video over and over. Okay, and then for the ingredient that makes the chili is tomatoes. I don't know what the standard or if there's like a proper kind of tomato to use. I've seen people use diced tomatoes, tomato sauce. I've seen people use tomato paste. You can use actual tomatoes. I don't think it really matters, just some form of tomato. I personally, in this dish, use 2 cans of diced tomatoes. And then I purposely didn't mix the tomatoes around. I just left them at the top because I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I've heard that if you like mix the tomatoes around, the tomato paste or sauce or whatever sticks to the pot easier. So I don't want to risk it. It cooks fine without mixing it. And I don't want to eat just chili by itself. So we're going to make a rice dish on the side. And stick with me. I know this looks gross and looks really weird, but we're going to be making Spanish rice to go along with it. So I'm going to boil like I guess probably 50-50 combination of water and salsa. I got some medium salsa here, the Albertsons brand. I actually really like the Albertsons brand. I prefer it over the name brands. When cooking rice in a pot, you want to use double the amount of liquid as you use rice. So I was making 2 cups of rice, so we used 4 cups of liquid in total. So I mixed what I think was about 2 cups of water and 2 cups of salsa. For some reason though, if you make rice in a pressure cooker, you only need a 1-to-1 ratio of liquid to rice. I don't know the science behind that, but yeah, very interesting. Save the earth, save our water and our oceans and our orcas and our fishies so I can eat more salmon. I know it still doesn't look appetizing, but you'll see once it's done in a few minutes, it's gonna look very good. But for now, the chili is done, so let's open that up. Originally, we pressure cooked the beans for 6 minutes, and then we also pressure cooked the chili for 6 minutes. So in total, the beans got 12 minutes of pressure cooking, and all the ingredients together got that last 6 minutes together. I did add a little bit of water before I pressure cooked it, because as time goes on, as it sits in the pot, some of that water will evaporate and it kind of becomes thicker that way. So I didn't want it to get burned as I left it in there for a few hours as people grab their helpings and whatever. I've heard you can also use beer as one of the liquids, so I want to try that one day. Also Worcestershire, whatever you want to call it. That sauce I heard is very popular in chili too. But yeah, doesn't the chili look so much better with the flash on? I don't know, I just thought that looked really good and HD. But the rice is done now. Let's take a look at that. I know right now at the start it doesn't look good, but just wait till we mix it. I was kind of struggling to do this with one hand here, as you can see. I think I just paused the recording and then like turned it back on after. Yeah, right here, yeah. Okay, but now that it's all mixed, that looks pretty good, right? You wouldn't have thought so from the start, but if you ever wondered how to make Spanish rice, like what you get in restaurants or whatever, it's so easy. It's literally just rice and salsa. Then of course we have to get the super HD footage by using the flash on there. And now we gonna make a bowl. All right, so here's the bowl of food. We got the chili and the rice and I'm excited to dig in, and hopefully my family will enjoy it as well. Then for condiments, I like sour cream on there. I think it's a pretty standard thing, you know, sour cream, cheese. We don't have any cheese right now, but I get the light sour cream. You know, may as well cut calories where you can. But yeah, I am very excited to crack into this dinner. Got the fresh sour cream here. I'm gonna put a dollop, with the fresh spoon of course, that'd be disgusting if it was used, onto the chili. Now we shall enjoy. Not biased either. I am very particular with the food I eat. I wouldn't eat just anything. You know me. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I know there's so many different ways to make chili. There's so many ingredients you can add, ingredients you can leave out. But this is just the way I made it with what we happen to have here at the house. And it turned out pretty good for what we have here. I'm gonna get all cozy though and enjoy my food and enjoy the neck beard too that's growing in. I tried trimming it a few days ago, but it's kind of like grown out even more again. But I won't shave it until after Twisted League ends. I assume most of you are here from the RuneScape channel. If you're not, you're probably confused what Twisted League is. It's a RuneScape thing for nerds. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great day, and see you again next time.